Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome to the November edition of Coffee with Cathy. With me here today is Betty Hart from the Kaiser Fire District and Pastor Jose Dominguez from La Luz de Valle Church. We hope shortly that Ramiro Navarro from Chariots and Bob Shackelford from Chamber will be able to join us. If not, we'll share some of the news from both of those organizations because we want to keep you up to date on what's happening in Kaiser. And being the holidays, there's a lot going on because Kaiser does the holidays in a really big way. So I just want to lead off with a couple of things, then I'll turn it over to my friends here, and we'll share with what's going on in the great city of Kaiser. Speaking of the holidays, we always have a really good time, and we try to have them safe and a lot of fun for everybody. But our police will be stepping up patrols because not everybody makes wise choices when it comes to driving and alcohol and other things that impair people's driving. We want everybody to be safe in our community during the holiday season. So, drinking, driving, not okay. You all know that. Don't have to preach it. But our police are going to help remind everybody that that is the case. So you will see an increased holiday patrols, but we really want you to help out with the holiday safety. Keep your porch lights on. If you have Christmas lights on your house, wahoo! That's even better because it's going to light up the neighborhood. Lights really help increase security, especially during the dark days of the winter months in Oregon. So keep your porch lights on. Lock your cars. Too many car thefts our car openings. And our police remind people over and over again, lock your car and don't leave things in sight. When you're shopping, secure everything, make sure people can't see things because if it's not an easy grab and go, they're not going to be going for you generally. The theft thieves are usually looking for the easy targets. So don't be one of them. Lock your car, bring stuff inside, secure it where they can't be seen. And then last but not least, lock your front door, lock your windows. So, again, you're not an easy target. We want everybody to be safe and secure during the holiday season, safe walking, safe driving. Keep your home and your property locked up and secure. And last but not least, when you're out walking, wear light colored clothing, a reflector, a flashlight, be visible. And remember, if you're walking or biking, don't assume anybody can see you because they probably don't, and make sure that you are looking and a vehicle is well out of the way before you go ahead and cross, even in a crosswalk, even with the light. Stop and look. It's the stuff that your kids learned in Safety Town. It still works. So have a wonderful, safe holiday season and celebrate with family, friends, and neighbors. We want everybody to be safe, secure, and have a very happy time, and all of your memories be good ones for the holiday season. I've got a couple other things I'll wrap up near the end of the broadcast. But speaking of holidays and safety, I want to go to Betty Hart from Kaiser Fire District. The Fire District wants you to be safe and secure during the holiday season, and they've got some fun stuff planned, even with some changes again for this holiday season. Betty, thanks for being with us today.
Thank you. I'm always delighted, and I hope everyone had a great Thanksgiving. I certainly did, and celebrated with some people who have adopted me as a family member, and so I really appreciate the opportunity to do that. We were all safely vaccinated and everything. So, but we did share hugs. So I'm staying home right now. Anyway, but that was a lot of fun. And you're right about safety. In fact, the day before Thanksgiving, there was a fire in Kaiser. Fortunately, I think no one was hurt, and the damage could have been a lot worse, but still, we don't want that to happen to other people as well. And there are lots of safety tips on the Kaiser Fire District Facebook page. So I encourage people who are on Facebook to look up the Kaiser Fire District and kind of check some of those fire safety tips there. There are, you know, most fires start in the kitchen apparently. And so as we're doing a lot more cooking during the holiday season, it's important that we pay attention to what we're doing and not create a problem for ourselves and others, needless to say. And under the good news, bad news headline, the good news is that we're having Candy Cane Day on Saturday, December 18th, starting at 9:30 in the morning. And it's a drive-through at the station, at the fire station. So, and I'm sure they'll be there for a few hours or so. So you don't have to all go at 9:30. For me, that's a little early sometimes on a Saturday, but anyway. And the bad news part is, of course, there's no pancake breakfast this year. And so hopefully we'll be able to do that again starting next year. One of the interesting safety tips I found on the fire district's Facebook page is a list of things that you can feed your dog and to not feed your dog because they can be poisonous. And of course, most people know about chocolate, but there are a number of other things too, like onions and potatoes and a few things. And there are under the list of things that you can give to your dog are a number of vegetables, which is, I thought, very interesting and good for dogs and people alike, for sure. One of the great things that happened in November was that our prevention division of the fire district was awarded the Innovative Safety Award from the Oregon Fire District Directors Association. And they give this award to fire departments that have original training or programs or innovative ideas. And one example of that, I unfortunately don't have the whole list of things that they have done over the last year or so, but this year they weren't able to have their open house because of COVID. So they made up little bags of safety tips for all of the elementary school kids. So they actually reached more kids than they usually do with open house. And it included a coloring contest for kids to be able to, or maybe they to draw something. It might have been a drawing. Anyway, it was, I thought, well, that's a great thing to do, to have some of the same kind of things they would see and get if we had a safety fair, then they got anyway, and more people were able to participate. So good for them. Anne Marie and Cody do a great job with all their responsibilities, and they're both thinking of good ideas to go along. And if you didn't already, when you set your clocks back, be sure you check your smoke alarms because it's that time of year. I think that Cody might be available to help with that if you need to, so you can call the station during the week and check in with Cody and see what he can advise for you. In fact, I need some advice from him myself. And recently the board decided that, as we look back over the past almost 2 years now, and all of the protocols and things our firefighters have had to follow, and the challenges for the fire department, and all of the conflagrations our staff have been on, creating overtime both for those that go and those that stay. The board has decided to do an audit of the organization, kind of from the top down, to look at how we're organized and if there might be new ideas that would be helpful, because as you can well imagine, it's a challenge on a day-to-day basis sometimes just doing your work. And then when you have the additional factors of COVID and all those protocols and things that, are there other ways that we could be doing business that would be more effective and help our employees be more effective in their work. So we're going to be looking at that over the next few months and see if we come up with some ideas that might improve our way of work. So that's what I have for now. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Betty, and thanks for the safety tips as well. Congratulations to Anne-Marie and the entire team at Kaiser Fire District for not only making lemonade out of lemons, but taking it even farther than the previous programs have. I think that's something pretty typical of how we have innovated during this whole COVID response.
Mhm.
Is we've been very creative, and I love that we said, okay, well, we can't do this, and didn't stop. Well, oh well, and put an end to it. I mean, look
Yeah.
at what we're doing right now.
Yeah.
I
Well,
know
and I
it's
think
more.
in addition to that, there are lots of ideas that people have come up with. And you hear a lot of people say, I can't wait till we get back to how things were. I don't think we'll ever go back because we'll have discovered some new ways to do things that are more effective than we were doing it before, or achieve our goals better. And hopefully we'll identify those and continue to do them while still being, able to renew and get back to some of the things that have been really hard for everybody, and hopefully it all will ease in 2022. But listening to the news the last couple of days, I have to admit I've got my fingers crossed. So thank you, Mayor.
Yeah, I also have my fingers crossed, and more importantly, I've got my hand sanitizer close by because there's a couple of things that will never change. You still have to keep your hands washed. I don't think that was ever a bad idea. Just saying. Cover and cough, sneezes. It's been so cute watching my grandson because he sees us when we cough that we cover or cover, and so now if he goes he goes right to it. He's at that age where he copies everything, and that's a good habit for him to learn. And when you're sick, stay home. Just some courtesies like that I hope are going to be deeply ingrained in how we conduct ourselves as a community going forward. But there's something that won't change, and that is how Kaiser cares for one another. And I am so gratified as this is a time of giving thanks to look back at this last year and see just again, time and time again, Kaiser shows up and we care in a practical and deep and meaningful way. And reading some of the posts on Facebook over Thanksgiving, how people have been reaching out and caring and sharing in a healthy way, um, just reminds me how much we do have to be thankful for. And that is something that we can count on, both in the past and looking into 2022. So, Pastor, I'd love to go to you and talk about Thanksgiving, what's been happening, and how are we heading into the holiday season.
But
Welcome.
thank you, Mayor. It's nice to be with you and Betty and those that would come on later. But a lot of things going on. We just went through a Thanksgiving, just had a great time with my family, my daughter, my son, my grandkids, my wife. We just, it was funny because yesterday I went to go visit my mom, and I walked in, and my mom's 91 years of age. She says, "Hey son, how did you celebrate Thanksgiving? Did you do tamales or did you do a turkey?" And I go, "Well, we did the traditional turkey this year." "Well, I just thought you would, so I saved you some tamales." So she gave me some tamales, and we were able to do both. But great time. As the mayor has stated, it's a time to count your blessings. It's a time to be thankful. One of my daughter mentioned the fact that not everybody had the opportunity to sit down at the table with their loved ones this year, and that was so true. And just the appreciation of just being together, eating a meal, and just kind of reminiscing on the good things that have happened this year, as well as, you know, the not so good things, but nonetheless, a very positive attitude of Thanksgiving during this week. I just had a great time. Just gearing up for Christmas. I'm driving down the road and I'm seeing people with their lights and their a snowman and their Santa Claus out in the yard, and I go, it's that time of year, and some even have music, which is cool. And so yeah, we're just gearing up. We're gearing up early this year. We were able to give out to one of the schools. We were able to give out some gifts already. They received them. One of our schools here in Kaiser, they received the little gifts, and they were so appreciative. They had called, and then later we responded and said, "Yeah, we've got some gifts we'd like to give away to kids." And so we gave them little stuffed little animals and different things that we had there at the church. And so we gave them out. We're hoping that that'll bring a smile to those young people. We're also gearing up this year. We're praying and hoping that we'll have enough gifts. Last year was such a blessing. We were able to serve the prison community. We were able to give. I think we served like 50 families. We called DOC, Department of Corrections, Parole and Supervision Department, and two of the workers there came on site, and they took the gifts, handed them out to the families. The children were the families were so encouraged. We're so blessed. And so we're just hoping this year that we're able to meet that and be able to bring some smiles to the faces. This is a time of generosity. It's a time of giving. And we want to just do our little part, you know, to have people smile and look at life in a different way. We've gone through a lot during these last 2 years, mental health and other things, that losses of family members, and I've had some of those in our office where we've just talked about that and encouraged and helped and yeah, and we've gone through this last 2 weeks. We've gone through some tough times. Some of our LAC members have lost family members, and we've been encouraging them, and they're going to be fine. But here we are giving that word of hope, that word of encouragement. Also, we're hoping that the parade will be a blessing this year. We're inviting people to come to be encouraged. It's so nice to have things back. I won't say back to normal, but we're beginning to see that our activities, our events in Kaiser are starting to come back. And we just want to thank our leadership here in the city for having that faith, because it's important for our city. It brings us together. It brings us a sense of community and loving our community. And so I was just so thrilled that we're going to be having that, and then things to come, as Betty mentioned, hoping that next year they'll have that breakfast and so forth and so on. But Mayor, I wanted to share in Spanish. Security is so important during the festivities, as you and Betty have shared. And I'd like to just share in Spanish some of the things that you've said, because I think part of what reason we're here is to let people know what's going on in the community, but also I think that to make sure that we're secure and protected in our community. And so I'd just like to share a few words in Spanish. Solo quiero compartir con ustedes, se vienen los días festivos, y con las festividades hay que estar seguros, hay que protegernos, hay que hacer buenas decisiones. Y una de esas es no maneje y tome alcohol, porque nuestros policías van a estar vigilando para la protección de la comunidad. Otra cosa, no deje su carro abierto. Ciérrelo. Close your car at night. También las luces. Si tiene luces de Navidad o tiene luces en su casa, en su portal, préndelas. Acuérdese, hay ladrones. Los ladrones quieren venir a robar y nosotros queremos estar seguros. Queremos estar muy seguros. Y también acuérdese que estamos en una pandemia todavía, pero vamos a salir muy pronto. Es importante lavarnos las manos, ¿verdad? Sanitar nuestras manos. Cuando usted va a toser, póngase la mano así a su boca, ¿verdad? Cuidando a los demás. Y en añadidura, también acuérdese de que si se enferma, if you get sick, it's important, stay home, quédese en la casa. Y esperamos, we hope that you have a great Thanksgiving, a great Christmas time, but you want to be secure. Quiere estar seguro y protegido. So I don't have much more to say other than just preparing for Christmas and just hoping that all of those listening have a great Feliz Navidad.
Well, thank you so much. And thanks for that wonderful message. I really appreciate that, Betty.
Yes, I wanted to congratulate Pastor Dominguez on 2 points. One is I got some tamales from the church a few weeks ago, and they were delicious. Oh my gosh, they were very good. Thank you. And secondly, Pastor Dominguez is going to be the Grand Marshal of the Christmas Lights Parade this year. So that's really exciting, I think. And well, I'm not looking forward to standing out in the cold watching the parade. I might just have to go so I can see you. It'll be fun. Yeah.
Well,
so congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Well, we hope maybe they would put it on CCTV. And those that are out in the cold, that don't want to go out in the cold can actually watch it. So,
Right.
yeah. But thank you. It's always nice to be a part of something that will be a blessing to our community.
Well, congratulations indeed. And yes, it will be broadcast for people who would like to stay out of the cold or who need to. For those who want to get out and about, there will be plenty of space to, again, spread out up and down River Road and enjoy the Holiday Lights Parade. What I tell people who are getting their floats ready is lots of lights and turn up the music. Make it a very festive event. And why do I say that? Because you're looking at one of the float judges. What points? Light it up, turn it up. We're going to have a wonderful time. So the parade is December 11th. And if you're planning to go anywhere that evening, you're not driving down River Road. So just come out to the party and have a good time. It'll be a wonderful, safe event for kids of all ages. Looking forward to having some wonderful lit floats, bands that are going to be coming to play, our local high school bands. We've got wonderful sponsors who have stepped up this year to help make sure that this parade can happen. Congratulations and thank you to the Chamber of Commerce for the hard work that goes into putting on this event every year, and this in particular to make sure that we're ready to go for a wonderful Holiday Lights Parade. Prior to the event will be the Jingle Dash. So one end of River Road, about Lock Haven and River, everything will be shut down for staging the floats. And down at the other end, you're going to have the Jingle Dash happening. So again, if you're planning to go somewhere on December 11th, make sure you're on which side of River Road before, I think, 5:30 or 6 o'clock, because we're shutting it down and making sure that everybody's safe out there on River Road. So get ready for that event. A couple other things happening. relative to the holidays and the Chamber of Commerce is on the 7th. We're going to have the holiday tree lighting at Wallery Plaza, Kaiser Fire District. I understand you've been tapped for escorting the gentleman of the hour, Santa Claus, down to the tree lighting, and we're very thankful for your taking care of our distinguished guest. And he will be greeting the children with candy canes at the holiday tree lighting. So that's the 7th at 6 o'clock. That's on the 8th for people who want to come and wrap gifts for the holiday giving baskets. That's going to be at the Lions Club. I think it starts around 4 o'clock, 4 or 5 o'clock over at the Lions on Cherry Avenue. Gift wrapping will happen that evening. The next evening, which will be Thursday, that's the 9th, will be the food sorting for all of the giving baskets that will go out to families. This is a project of the Kaiser Network of Women, the Kaiser Chamber, and the entire community for making sure that the needs of our families are met. The Chamber works closely with the school advisors for all of the schools in Kaiser to get the names of students and their families who are would benefit from the gifts and the food this holiday season. The 11th, in the evening, we have the parade, but in the morning, if you want to be part of deliveries, please sign up and show up on Saturday the 11th to deliver the gifts and the food to the families in our community. It's very gratifying to give and be part of the giving, but when you get to meet the people in our community and who are giving and receiving, everybody is blessed in that transaction. There's just a real sense of caring for one another. And again, Kaiser is showing up to take care of families in our community. We know that we're able to serve a lot more families this year because of the generosity of so many of you in the community that has already exceeded the giving goals that we've set for being able to serve people in our community. Because I think you and I, and we all know that the need this year is great, but the generosity of the people in this community is greater. Looking forward to those wonderful events. And on top of that, speaking of chamber, the Latino Business Alliance, the Kaiser Business Alliance, and the Kaiser Chamber of Commerce all received copies of, but the Small Business Saturday Proclamation today is Small Business Saturday. It is the time to make sure you remember to, not just today, but all year long, to support our small businesses, which are the backbone and the foundation of our economy, both locally and nationally. So as you're shopping, as you're thinking about your giving of gifts, don't think about the ships that are sitting offshore in Long Beach. You have plenty to choose from right here in Kaiser. You've got businesses that are ready for you to provide gifts and services to you and your family this holiday season and all year long. Let's show up once again and support small businesses on Small Business Saturday. Another way that we also show up is that our community is very, very purposeful and determined to serve people in our community who are homeless or housing insecure. You've been a very active part in so many of the organizations that are now combined and working together under the Mid-Willamette Valley Homeless Alliance. This year alone, we've been able to bring in nearly $10 million in grants to provide services, wraparound services, comprehensive services, shelter, and security for people who are homeless or housing insecure. We've seen some of the camps moved off of really unsafe and unsanitary, horrific conditions into well-managed, safe parking, safe sleep, safe shelter, and more is coming. Over at Church of the Park, a new shelter facility is going in where you have a lot of these little tiny homes, which will be transitional housing for people to be inside, safe, secure, and warm, receive services on site, and continue their progress into permanent supportive housing and into a much healthier and happier future. The Arches Inn, which is the old Super 8 motel over on Hawthorne, is finishing renovation, and on December 7th will be the grand opening of the Arches Inn, a turnkey project, again, funded through Oregon Housing and Community Services and other grant programs to transform this hotel into a low barrier shelter where people can come in and be safe and secure, receive on-site services, and begin their process, how they're going to make progress in their lives moving forward. Congratulations to Arches, the Mid-Willamette Valley Community Action Agency, and all the partners that are working together to provide services for all of the guests that they will serve in that facility. This is not the only one. There are so many more projects that are coming online to effectively meet the needs of people in our community who are homeless and housing insecure. We're no longer guessing how to serve people. We now know what's going to make a difference, both short, medium, and long term. And now we're moving quickly as we can, to ramp up facilities, services, and security for people as they leave homelessness. And our determination is they leave it once and for all. No going back. We want to be there long term, sustained, so that people can make permanent changes in their lives. And the numbers we're seeing as people come into these either tiny homes or pallet homes or safe parking, they're staying housed. Our success rate is significant. And even more importantly, lives are being saved. I want to thank all of you in our community who have been so faithful in donating, volunteering, giving, and being a part of the Homeless Alliance, all of our wonderful partners, our faith community, our nonprofit, our service providers. The city of Salem has been able to do some fantastic work because they're no longer alone in trying to meet the needs of people, but they know that they are now supported by the larger community in meeting the needs of people in our community. To learn more, go to the Mid-Willamette Valley Homeless Alliance webpage. You can see the listing of all of the partners from the collaborative committee. Go to community action. If you want to volunteer, there's training for people who want to volunteer for the warming shelters. They are now up and running as needed, and they will open as the weather indicates. And if you want to volunteer, you need to be trained before you do that, because we want to make sure that everybody who's involved knows how to make a difference and do so in a way that's effective. I also want to congratulate the Union Gospel Mission. I saw pictures from their Thanksgiving dinner, in the first one served in the new Union Gospel Mission downtown, as more people are being served in that fantastic trauma-informed care design facility to serve people in our community. So definitely want to encourage people, if you want to make a difference for people who are homeless in our community, go to one of our long-term partners and partner with them to make a difference. On the economic side, I want to congratulate the opening of the 7-Eleven and gas station, which is the first opening in what's called Shimawa Station. This is owned by the Siletz and Grand Ronde tribes, and it's the first of what will be many buildings going into that area, what we call Area D, across Lock Haven from Kaiser Station. This has been a long time coming, and I want to congratulate both the tribes on their economic development teams bringing this first project online. The next one coming online is Chick-fil-A. That one is going to go to construction soon, and more is coming as they finish the designs for the other side of that street in what they call the south part of Area D, between that 7-Eleven and the water tower. So watch for more development to come there, more jobs, and this is going to be great for our community to have that area developed fully for the Kaiser economic growth area. There's going to be other construction, other facilities going in. There's I think some people noticed that the cows have moved on. Moved on. Sorry, I had to. And I promise that probably won't be the last cow joke. But anyway, from the area over off of Verda, and that place is going to construction. This was a design and conditions that we finished a few years ago. The property has been sold. It is going to development for multifamily housing in that area as well. And there's other areas that we have very little land in Kaiser to develop, but because of the lack of land, the land that we do have is high value, and developers are very interested in doing business in Kaiser, which is awesome for us because I think we're a great community to do business in. I don't think anybody here would disagree with that because we're just awesome. That's just Kaiser. That's all I've got here. A couple other things real quick. Monday, we have 2 work sessions. I'm not sure they're going to be broadcast, but I want to let you know. You've been hearing a lot about the Parks Master Plan. So it's moved through hearings at the Kaiser Parks Board. There's been a lot of outreach on that. It is now going to a work session with the Kaiser City Council on Monday night. You can read that master plan. It is available on our website. If you want to see what's happening in your neighborhood park, go to the master plan, scroll through to find the park in your neighborhood to see what is planned for that park. Once it gets through the work session, any other updates will be done, and then it will be brought to the Kaiser City Council for adoption. Why is this important? In order to apply for grants or to do development in our parks, we have to have projects listed in the master plan. A lot of the work that was planned for in the parks that in our old master plan in 2008 are done. Yay! And I got to tell you, a lot of it had to do with the park's fee. That really leapfrogged us forward from just barely holding on to really getting a lot of good stuff done. The parks have been so important for us as a community, but especially during COVID. Being outside in fresh air, sunshine, or liquid sunshine, rain, that's okay. We don't melt, has been so helpful for our physical, emotional, and spiritual health. To be outside, enjoying time together. We can be outside and in our parks. We want to make sure our parks are safe, accessible, and welcoming to everybody in the community. And that is the goal of this updated master plan. So check that out. If you have additional comments, send them to us. We want to know if you think there's anything we missed or that we add before we finalize this master plan, because we intend to take this master plan and run with it to make our parks even better for the people of the community of Kaiser. So that's all I've got for today. There's a lot going on in Kaiser. We're so thankful to have you all with us today. I want to thank my friends Betty Hart from Kaiser Fire District, Pastor Jose Dominguez from La Luz de Valle Church, and most importantly, I want to thank you all for joining us on this month's edition of Coffee with Cathy. Have a wonderful holiday season with friends and family, and a very safe and happy new year. Take care, everybody. We'll see you again in December.